You know why? Because politicians have to lie, and I don't like that. I don't
Please
have
join
to
me
lie
in
to
the
people.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Town of Crane Board meeting, March 2nd, 2026. I'll start off, well actually I'll start off. RT can't join us tonight. He had some oral surgery today and there's a little under the weather, so he won't be here. I'll read minutes from the last month's meeting. The meeting started at 6 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance. Southern Indiana Development and USGF and Structure Point representatives and engineers discussed the depths, timeline, improvements for the new sewer laterals project. They will begin the first steps of this project around February 16th. The previous minutes were read out loud by Jeff Clark. We spoke with the State Board of Accounts, and the internet is not supposed to be taxed. All accounts have been credited the tax back as of now, and no tax will be charged going forward. The contract with Rumpke is up for renewal, and we need to do a trash can audit. CJ makes a motion to renew the contract with Rumpke. RT seconds the motion. Uptown 558 to Block Street is under a boil order due to a water main break and repair. Spring clean and fling is coming up in May. We might get an additional dumpster this year. Vendors for this event are still being considered. Jeff would like to continue as the board president. CJ is torn and thinks he should take over being board president. RT says he does not want to be board president himself. The board discusses this at length and comes to an agreement that Jeff will remain the board president. The meeting closed at 6:55 p.m. Sounds accurate to me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I'll sign it after.
Alright. So the spring clean and fling is coming up. We were doing some discussions about that. We have held it on the second Saturday of every May since we started doing the program again. The second Saturday of May falls on Mother's Day weekend, as well as Lagodi baseball opening. So do we want to move it to another weekend?
As we discussed, I'd like to make a motion to have it the third Saturday in May.
Alright, so the spring clean and fling will move to the third Saturday of May.
I'm sure somebody will come up with, well, the blah 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 has an event that weekend.
Well, this isn't a Mother's Day or something like that. I'm trying to make it better for everybody. The electric rates at REMC. REMC is talking about raising their rates again. The town of Crane is already the highest electric rate in the state of Indiana. I don't want to raise our rates anymore. So what I would like to investigate is using the 7 acres of town property that is wooded right now and possibly turning it into a solar field to generate the town of Crane's own electric.
Let's investigate.
If this works like I would plan, then we would go from being the highest electric rate in the state to potentially being the lowest electric rate in the state. So if I can get a motion to further investigate into.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Alright, and then I will second. There are some nasty rumors being spread right now about the officials of the town There's claims of fraud and some procedures that's not been followed properly. The state CPS, Mr. Chris Adam, did come in week before last. Correct? Week before last.
Mhm.
He did his investigation. They found zero fraud. Good figure. We have not, to our knowledge, mishandled any type of town business or procedures. We are trying to do everything by the book. So we're going to continue to do that. Main thing is I wanted to get out, even though the rumors are saying that we are defrauding the town, there is zero fraud. That is from the state CPA. So, next thing, the fire barn. So back in 2023, there was a couple of properties that was traded off for, one was the concrete pad for the shelter house. The second property was for the shelter house itself. This was all in the meetings. It was all held publicly, transparently. I will say that the deals were not handled in the proper manner at that time. We did not know that we were outside of the way of handling it. We had a state audit in 2023. I think that was a week after those two deals had went through. The state representatives then, I cannot remember their names. It was Bill and Susan. But I can't remember their last names. They advised us then that, hey, even though these deals were mishandled, they are already finalized, so we couldn't do anything about them. The third deal was that a third deal of the same nature was still in the process. They said to stop that deal. We stopped it. That land did not get traded. That was the 6 acres that I was referring to as far as the solar field. So, as of right now, the county is showing that the fire barn is not in the town of Crane's name. It is not deeded to the town of Crane. That is a mess up, I think, at the county level. I'm not sure exactly where. I can say that the fire barn and the lot next to the fire barn where the storage unit's set used to be one property. There was a
Survey.
thank you. There was a survey done that split those two pieces of property. The person that received the lot where the storage units now sit was very full aware that he was only getting that section. If you go down there, you can see clearly where it's gravel next to, there's a big gravel lot and all the storage units next to the fire barn. Where that gravel is his line. He clearly knew that that's as far as he was getting. He knew he was not getting the fire barn. The town did not know the fire barn had been transferred out of our names, but our attorney is looking into it. They are tracking how it was supposed to be, what the deal was supposed to be, and it will be fixed through the county by the attorneys. So, town did not give up the fire barn, even though there was a mistake and it was transferred to somebody else. It's going to be coming back to the town of Crane's. It will be redeeded to the town of Crane because it was not part of the deal. Let's see. Something else I'll bring up. My name's Jeff Clark. I am the town president. Our town clerk is Ashley Clark. That is my wife. If anybody is familiar with the town history, there has been presidents and town clerks married for years, yeah, at least the past 30 years. So, before I took the position on the board, before Ashley accepted the position as town clerk, we went through the state. We verified that there is no policies against a man and a wife being the president and the clerk of the same town. There's no policy against me being her husband and our positions. So that's been a rumor going around. There's been a stink about it. You can say what you want. There is no policy against it. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
I have nothing other than Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Shaw, did you want to say some words?
For the record, this is Jonah Shaw, running for the sheriff in Martin County.
Yes, my name is Jonah Shaw. I'm running for Martin County Sheriff for this year. Coming up just in May, it's snuck up on us. We started last year with our campaign, got out a little bit early, tried to get a head start on things, and show that we're willing to put in the effort for the long haul, not just for come hire me for a job. So let me start with, I've been a Martin County resident my entire life. I graduated from the Shoals Community High School in 2015. I was part of the Shoals Fire Department, Martin County Sheriff's Office, and Lagodi City Police Department. I dedicated many years of my life to public service for this county. One thing that I really want to look at is what are we doing to make Martin County stronger together? I feel like the one thing that we do lack here in the county is community engagement. Back in the years past, we have had community engagement. Over the last four and a half years, that has ceased to exist. We used to have township meetings. I think we were speaking about that a while ago. You had a deputy in each township that you could go to as like a safe person or somebody that you were entrusted to. And part of those township meetings were you was able to get to know your police officers within your community that's going to be coming and responding to you at probably the most emergent time of your life. You're not just calling the police over to hang out. So there's a few programs that I think that we need to address, which is canine programs. Canine programs are very important. We have 0 canines active in Martin County right now, which that will fall back to the narcotics issue we have in the county. Now, drug issues are nationwide. It's not just Martin County, Davies County, Greene, or DuBois, Orange, etc. So, with that being said, we have to find a way to appropriately move forward with the drug addiction. I'm not all for just sending everybody to IDOC, to prison, and us spend the money to house them. We need to figure out a way to try to help these people transition back into life outside of getting put into home detention and all these others. You can do it within your own jail. So that's something that I've been interested in. I haven't really publicly spoke on until tonight on that type of program. And so shifting gears, part of that is also going to be 911 response. When you call 911, that's the worst time of your life. I've worked 911. I actually worked in the jail, dispatch, and as the road as a deputy sheriff. So as 911, it can be a stressful job sitting in that seat by yourself on the worst day of somebody's life. And we need to make sure they have more than just the bare minimum requirement trainings that the state says that you must have to be able to be a 911 operator. So that's something that I look forward to potentially being able to address. We have a lack of transparency, in my opinion, in this county, and it all comes down to body-worn cameras. The sheriff's office are not equipped with them and do not utilize them at this time. To me, that's a big red flag. It's 2026. We all have a camera right here, and the camera is not to protect law enforcement; it's to protect the citizen as well. That's one thing that people can get down the rabbit hole with. It's for transparency across the board. It's not just for law enforcement, not just for the citizen. It's for us as taxpayers in general, because if we're going to get sued, what's going to happen? They're going to subpoena the body cam footage. It may show a different story than what's over here, but no matter what, we have evidence now. And that goes forward with prosecuting cases. You put in all the effort you want into a case, but if you don't have proper documentation or even have the ignition on body camera, the prosecutor can't do their job as well. So those are just a few things that I'm willing to hit on tonight. I do have some cards here I plan on handing out after. It has my personal cell phone number on it that you're not going to get an automated message. It's going to come directly to me. And I appreciate you guys' time for letting me come up tonight and speak.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to take too much of your guys' time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Thank you. Finally got a representation from Martin County.
Alright, you got anything,
I don't.
Ashley?
I'll
Any
make-
questions?
I have a comment.
Comment?
You said that the State Board of Accounts said they could not reverse the sale. That's not true. If they had found any violation of transfer of property, any violation of state bidding contract law, or any other violations that warranted it, the State Board of Accounts can immediately order the property be returned to the town and the money returned to the people. Since they did not,
No.
that means they did not find
The
any
issue they found was we didn't keep the
records.
estimate or the bids. So we had the only one for the church property. We only had one bid there, and then the Henning property, I think we had 2 or 3, but Dan's was the best one. Plus, he gave us more concrete than what we asked for, so he went above and beyond. So that was our issue. We didn't keep the other bids.
The way that it was put to me was that since those deals were already done, that they weren't going to take action against those deals.
Right.
That went through the 2023 audit. Those
Well,
deals
I'm just
already
saying,
went through the 2023
that
audit.
if they had found something
They've already
that
been
warranted
investigated.
it,
They
they could
have-
have
They
immediately.
could have, yeah. But because we had it in our meetings or minutes, and everything was
They investigated
out.
it. They investigated it then, and even then they found there wasn't intent of defrauding the town.
but they still had to document it.
They documented it. That's why I bring it up tonight. When this happened in 2023, it was all in our board minutes. We handled it to the best of our ability then. Found out that we weren't handling it quite right. So we stopped where we were and we complied with what the state recommended. Yes.
There's something that's off this topic, is only because I did tell people that I would ask about it. We have a new employee for the town that is supposed to be here on the daily. And I guess on the 17th or whatever day it was after the final day for paying bills, she was unable to attend because of some medical issues or some personal stuff. Anyway, people were trying to come to the town to pay their bills and whatever, and couldn't. Nobody was here. So is there something that we could do to maybe put it out either on social media or something like that nature, when we know that there's not going to be somebody in the office, to let people know that, hey, I'm sorry, there's a little bit more of a personal issue going on and there's not going to be someone available at the office to pay the bill. There'll be no late charges and there'll be no, because you weren't unable to pay the bill.
I do believe that day in particularly we found out real early, like 6 o'clock in the morning maybe, that she wasn't going to be able to be here. But if we do have more advance notice, then yeah, maybe we can put something out on Facebook, on the page or whatever.
Just some way of letting everybody know, because there's a few people that, sorry, this mask is ridiculous. There's a few people that are receiving help from the state or from the county, and being is that they have to have certain paperwork filled out by the clerk
Right.
or the clerk's assistant, so they can't just come anytime.
If there is pressing matter like paperwork or something like that, they are very well able to call the town office number, and if there's nobody at town hall, you can hit 2, and that links you directly to my phone. I can't say that we can get to you every single time. Every time somebody calls, I can't come running, as I work as well. But, I will try to work with anybody trying to, get their things taken care of.
Thank you.
Anything else? Go ahead.
I told you I was gonna bring it up.
Go ahead.
I develop houses here in town. I flip houses here in town. I was building 2 small houses particularly aimed towards military on base. They're 1-bedroom houses. And I was told under no circumstances could I build anything under 750 square feet. Since then, I've found out that there are 2 places here in town that are under 750 square feet. And I am asking the board, are we going to enforce that, or are we going to change that to something else?
I think that's a discussion that we do need to have. So,
Because for me, if you want to change it, that's fine by me, because it makes it easier for me. Because
so
I can put in 4 or 5 houses for the troops that are coming in,
whenever CJ and I first
whether that's
became
with
part,
the town.
when CJ and I first became the board at MRT, the ordinance was 1,250 square feet minimum. And then we lowered that to 700?
750.
750. We lowered that to a minimum of 750 square feet. That's what the ordinance is now. There is 2 tiny homes in town. One was put in with the promise of additions coming a couple months, I believe it was, thereafter. I don't know what happened to the additions being put in,
We don't particularly
but
I
care.
don't
We just
particularly, I don't need to know who.
No,
I don't need to
no,
know why. I don't
this
need to know
is-
the circumstances. All I'm asking is, if I can build a 500 square foot home for a single guy who's going to be a military guy living on base, it makes it a lot simpler for me.
mhm.
I complied with the town's requirement for me as a developer, yet somebody else was allowed to pull in a tiny home.
Yeah, that
So
was
I'm being penalized because I'm obeying.
that was allowed. The board allowed that with a promise
The
that
first
it was.
one.
The first one, what about the
first
second
I
one?
don't care about
The-
I don't care about
The first one was allowed by the board with the promise that it was getting added onto. That's why we allowed that. The second tiny home in town is on a property that already has an existing house on it. So with the existing house being on it, it already meets the ordinance's requirements.
But doesn't that kind of go along the same lines as people who had like campers and they had someone sleeping in a camper? I mean, because the campers are that big.
Well, we've got a no axle, or it's
Okay.
still have no axle ordinance. Now the current mobile homes that are
Sorry,
in
I'm
town
not
are
trying to
kind of
hijack his-
grandfathered.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, the mobile
My
homes
problem
are
is
grandfathered.
I was not specifically told, and I did not see it in the ordinance that said, if there's an existing home that meets the criteria, you can build extra homes. I didn't see that.
No, that's not in the
And-
ordinance.
So if I was to say I own this house over here, it meets the requirements, I can put 2 or 3 tiny homes behind it? Is that what we're saying?
I mean, technically, that's what we allowed with the one right down here on the street, down the street.
Not the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't allow it, but they.
We didn't give them permission to put that in, but it was put in, and then we went and looked at it to see what the heck was going on.
I'm not trying to hamper anybody. If
No,
anybody wants to have that and the town's okay with it, I just think that we need to change the ruling because it hampers other people who are trying to develop in the town.
Mhm.
So I'm not, I mean,
So do we want to
I just want to be treated
wanna
the same as
research
everybody
first.
else.
let us research on that and
We just
Fine.
want the rule to be the same for everybody. that's
yeah,
all.
I completely agree. Let us research that and we'll come to an agreement on whether we're going to either do away with said ordinance or enforce
No,
said
I don't-
ordinance.
I don't have a problem with you guys saying that the town has to meet a certain criteria to be habitable.
I definitely want to say that I don't want to
And I
see
don't want to see
somebody
a
living
bunch
in
of trailer.
a 10 by
court,
10 shed out
Yeah,
back or
10
something
by
like
10
that.
I don't wanna see somebody living in a small shed outside, you know, a 10 by 10.
Having
I
said
don't wanna
that,
see a bunch
we
of
did
mobile
have
homes
it
be
right
pulled
over
in
here.
here.
Two.
I don't wanna see a whole bunch of mobile homes or campers pulled in here because that's just going to
The
make
tiny,
the town look worse
The-
and drive down property value.
the two little houses don't look bad. It isn't that they look bad, and we don't have an issue per se with that kind of stuff. I don't care.
But the rule needs to be
But
fair along the board.
a rule for
I agree.
thee and not for me, you know, it should
No,
just
I-
be
I
the same
completely-
rule. So if
I
it,
completely
Nobody's saying that.
but if we're allowing it,
Well,
then we just want to be allowed to
technically,
work with our square
we did
footage too.
say
Is
that.
all.
Because we were developing property and we were told, no, you have to be 750 square feet. Because we were putting two properties on one lot, even though it's a giant lot, and it had two houses on it before that didn't meet the 750 square feet. We were told, nope, you gotta have 750 square feet.
It's funny how
So
many of the
we just
trade
want
houses
to
don't.
make sure that moving forward, we get this clarified and, like she said, the same for everybody, not something for thee and not for me. Because while I can develop something quickly at 500 square feet and have people in here and have taxes coming in and have, like I said, the military guys they're according to the base, they're getting ready to bring 300 or 400 military guys here for 3 years. They're going to need places to stay. So if I had something in a 1-bedroom, 500 square foot home that they could get into for now until they find someplace different, then we would probably have people here. But
More revenue for our town.
the longer it takes me to build, the longer it takes to get a return. And if I have to
Yeah,
build-
I definitely agree that we need to go over that and revise it, whether, like I said, whether we enforce the 750 or we change it or completely abolish it.
No,
Whichever, we need to have some time to deliberate and discuss. And-
right now, it doesn't affect me because I've already poured the foundation for the 750 square footers.
Right.
But in the future, you know,
Right.
we need this clarified so that other people don't get this upset
Oh.
as well.
I think by next town board meeting, we'll have a better answer.
I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Any other questions? All right. Can I get a motion to close?
Motion closed.
I'll second.